The Kansas City Chiefs hope to get their season back on track against the Indianapolis Colts. Historical nemesis Aaron Rodgers could make his return to Chicago. And two of the league's most exciting offenses, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Los Angeles Rams, square off. Let's get into the full Week 12 slate, which culminates with a Monday Night Football matchup between the Carolina Panthers and the San Francisco 49ers. Hey there, welcome everybody to the Week 12 edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher and Michael Bullock. Week 12 of the NFL season, and we started it off as we always do last night. Amazon Prime Video, Thursday Night Football, good matchup here. The Buffalo Bills squaring off against the Houston Texans at NRG Stadium in Houston. And unfortunately, Bills Mafia, it did not go our way. The Houston Texans, for the second year in a row, defeat the Buffalo Bills. And with an almost identical score. It was 23-20 last year. It was 23-19 last night. Almost similar to last year's game. Man, oh man, oh man. Break it down here. We'll break it down, of course, with the numbers. Starting it off with the winners, the Houston Texans. Davis Mills, 16 of 30, 153 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Woody Marks, 16 carries for 74 yards to lead the ground game. Nico Collins, 3 catches, 55 yards. Christian Kirk, 5 catches, 54 yards and a touchdown. Jaden Higgins, 4 catches, 38 yards and a touchdown. But the big talking point of last night's game, the defense of the Houston Texans, 8 sacks as a unit. Will Anderson, 2.5. Danielle Hunter, 2. Henry, 2-2. Tim Settle Jr., Derek Barnett, 1 sack each. And Mario Edwards Jr. with a half a sack. Oh, by the way, they also had 2 interceptions. And Kalen Bullock, no relation to Mr. Bullock here. I can make a joke saying that he's his 5th cousin or something, but no. Kalen Bullock with had both interceptions of Josh Allen. For Buffalo, Josh Allen, 24 of 34, 253 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Sacked 8 times. He also had 5 carries for 20 yards. James Cook, one of the bright spots, 17 carries, 116 yards, and a touchdown. Khalil Shakir, 8 catches and 110 yards. And Buffalo's defense, nothing. No sacks, no picks. But Ray Davis did have a kickoff return for a touchdown, though. That was another one of the bright spots. And Matt Prater, who has been an absolute godsend for Buffalo, made his first real blunder, missing the extra point on that first touchdown, which ultimately ended up proving to be the difference in this game. He doesn't miss that extra point. That game possibly goes to overtime because Buffalo was well within field goal range, and who knows how overtime would have ended up. But nonetheless, the Houston Texans pick up the win. Houston improves to 6-5 on the season. Buffalo drops to 7-4. Next week, the Houston Texans, they got a big one. They are going to be in Indianapolis to take on the Indianapolis Colts in an AFC South Division matchup. For the Buffalo Bills, it does not get any easier for them. They got to go on the road again next Sunday against the Pittsburgh Steelers at Acrisure Stadium. First things first, congratulations to Houston. They were the far better team last night. That defense is no joke. That defense is not a joke. They are as good as advertised. 8 sacks for the unit. Will Anderson Jr., in my opinion, should be in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. I'm not going to sugarcoat that at all. And timely plays by the offense, and they were able to get it done. And now I'm going to level with you folks. I'm going to try not to take too long with this because I know we got a lot to get into, but I did a lot of thinking today, and I'm just going to come out and say it like this. I know I'm about to shock a lot of people when I say this, but I got to get it off my chest anyway. I know some people are saying, oh, he's probably going to go on he's going to shock us. He's probably going to go on a Derek Ferreira rant. No, I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to take the high road and say it like this. The last 5 years have been absolutely amazing. The last 5 years of consecutive AFC Eastern Division championships. Unreal. I mean, but I got to face it. Bills Mafia, we have to face it. The AFC East is not in the cards. It's not going to be in the cards this year. As the old saying goes, it just wasn't meant to be. And if it's not meant to be, then we have to accept it and we have to deal with it. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Buffalo is definitely going to, I think they will most certainly be a playoff team. I do believe they're going to get in as a wild card. It's going to make the road to the Super Bowl this year a lot harder than in recent years. But, we got to be thankful for what we have. We got to be thankful for these last 5 years. I am. I'm thankful. I'm grateful. And I'm going to cherish them for the rest of my life. I am. And I'll keep saying it until I'm blue in the damn face. Even if this team never, ever wins a Super Bowl in my lifetime, I'm okay with it. Because this is my team, I'm not going to bail on them. I'm going to stick by this team no matter what happens. Good times, bad times, real fans stick by their teams no matter what. Look at MF. His Dolphins are not doing this season has not gone how he had hoped. But is he abandoning them? No. Because he's a true fan. Michael Bullock, before this year, the last 3 years, the Patriots were blech. But did he abandon them? Hell no, because he's a real fan. And even though a division title is no longer in the cards, and the season that started and going into the season, I was beyond excited because I thought after how close they came a year ago, I thought this was going to be the year. I felt so good this was going to be the year. And with the way things are going right now, I don't think it's in the cards, folks. I don't think it is. So, but in closing, I would like to say, I just want one. If I could just get one Super Bowl in my lifetime before I die, then I'll be satisfied. I would love to see the Dolphins get one for MF. I would like to see that in my lifetime so he can have the thrill of a Super Bowl championship. They won the Super Bowl before, but he wasn't born yet. They've only been to the Super Bowl once in his lifetime, and he was a baby, man. And they haven't been there since. But Bullock's been living the great life with the Patriots, and he's got 6 of those. And there's a good chance they could get a 7th this year. But that's how good they are. And we'll get to them in a little bit. But the point I'm trying to make is win, lose, or draw, win, lose, or tie, the Buffalo Bills are my team till I die. And that's it. Even if they don't ever amount to anything in my lifetime, I'm going to be thankful and I'm going to accept it, That's it. Thankful, grateful, blessed. Be thankful for what you have because you're going to have more of that. Don't focus on what you don't have and what you're not going to get. If it's not meant to be, hey, it's not meant to be, Simple as that. But thanks for putting up with that. I know we got a lot to get into, so I just wanted to get that out of my system. I was thinking about it all day. So it's not meant to be, folks. It's not meant to be when it comes to the division, but damn it, I'm still going to support that team as long as until the day the Lord calls me home. So congrats to Houston. Big win on to Indy. That defense is no joke. And we learned last night the hard way. And for Buffalo, well, Pittsburgh next. Oh boy. That's that. We went from one defensive beast in Will Anderson to another beast, TJ Watt. And he's had a big game against us before, 4 years ago, opening day. So who's to say he's not going to have a big game next week? But, we'll see what happens. So, but New England's path to the AFC East just got a lot easier. It looks like it's going to be a wild card this year. So, it is what it is. So, I don't know what else there is to say. So, MF, come on in. Buffalo, Houston, the winner, 23-19. And like I said, man, and hey, you're the one who preaches defense here. I'm sure after what you saw last night from that defense, they are no joke.
No, and the one thing that we underestimated was the defense. And believe it or not, they're a top 5 D in the NFL. And I did not know that. If I would have known that, maybe we would have been a little more respectful to the Houston Texans. And that's on us. We did not do our homework. We kind of got caught up in the sauce with Buffalo, thinking, after what they did last week, that they're probably going to easily turn it around in the whole 9 yards. And boy, did it blow up in our face. So, yeah, that's on us. We made a very critical error where we underestimated the Texans and we got bit for it. So, yeah, that's on us. Okay. I'm not going to pile on Buffalo, but it needs to be addressed. I've been hearing a lot of people this morning about Buffalo and how this team has fallen apart. They've lost 4 out of the last 7 games. They started 4-0. And they've lost 4 out of the last 7. The problem now is that, like you said, they're falling further and further and further behind in the AFC East. And now, with the way that the wild card is looking, even though right now they're okay, this team's gaining. And they're nipping. And they're seeing the blood in the water on Buffalo. So if Buffalo does not watch themselves, they might be on the outside looking in. They might not even make the playoffs. And if that happens, well, I'm going to say it. Sean McDermott needs to be fired. I'm sorry. I know everybody's going to be like, that's a little harsh, Mike. But no. If you're a Buffalo Bills fan, long-suffering, struggling, knowing this team, knowing where they came, knowing their situation, and knowing that this year was your best opportunity to get to the Super Bowl. Best opportunity. Kansas City was falling apart. The Ravens were not looking good. And you were thinking you were going to walk all over the AFC East. And the mere fact that you got Denver, Indy, and New England, all these teams that are better than Kansas City, Baltimore, and Buffalo, is the changing of the guard in the AFC. And for Buffalo, the expectations were championship or bust. There was no other middle ground. And for me, as for the Miami Dolphins, our season hinged on this season. Like, this was make or break for Miami. It was make or break for Buffalo this year. I'm sorry. And everybody knew what the expectations were. Buffalo was one of the favorites. The favorite to get to the Super Bowl. Remember that. They were one of the favorites to get to the Super Bowl
And that's why I
representing
was
the
so excited.
AFC. That's why Anthony Floyd was so freaking excited. This season has been nothing but a failure. And I'm calling it the way I see it. This season is turning to be a failure. And this is the moment, I'm sorry, Bills fans, but Sean McDermott has to go. He's been the coach of your team, gotten you to the AFC Championship game, got you to divisional championships, got you 5 division titles. And for what? A new team, a new coach, a new attitude is probably what Buffalo needs right about now, going into that brand new stadium next year. So, take that for what it's worth. Congratulations, Houston. You're keeping your playoff hopes alive. And you guys absolutely deserve the victory and the moment because you guys you cooked last night. That was a great victory. Michael Bullock, it is yours.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, Houston the defense really stepped up last night when they made it tough on Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. And what's the one thing also that's been hurting the Buffalo Bills? Their run defense.
And the injuries, too.
Yeah. And we saw a lot of them, and we saw a good amount of them last night, too. And eventually, it's going to catch up to them. It will. And don't forget another thing, too, and this also has to be addressed as well. Keon Coleman was a healthy scratch for a second straight game because of him missing a team meeting.
Noggin a diva.
And I hate to say this, guys, and I don't know if you'll agree with me on it. This was the wrong place and the wrong time to pull crap like this. When you are literally looking up to the New England Patriots and you're wanting to try to repeat as champions, there is little room for error. There is little room for such noggin diva nonsense. And you had to go and pull that. I mean, if I were a Buffalo Bills fan, I'd be like, you know what? We can't have this distraction. Keon Coleman should continue to be benched not just to send a message to him, but to every Buffalo Bills player on that team. Yes, including your boy Josh Allen, Florio, that this kind of stuff will not be tolerated at all.
I am going to go one further. I think Keon Coleman's going to get released at the end of the season.
I would not be surprised.
I would not be shocked if Keon Coleman is released by Buffalo, or that they even start thinking about maybe doing a trade to get him out of Buffalo, because
I'll tell you this right now, Fletch.
That's an issue you don't want in your locker room. You don't need cancer in your locker room, and it seems like this guy is becoming a cancer.
Yeah, exactly. I was just about to say that, Fletch. I mean, you hit the nail right on the head. I mean, there is no need for such noggin diva nonsense. And you're going to pull that crap off, you're done. You're finished. And this is the wrong place and the wrong time for this guy to pull this kind of crap. When you're trying to not only repeat as division champs, but trying to make the playoffs and even trying to get to a Super Bowl and win it. And you do this. Completely unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. I mean, right now, I think we all can agree right now, New England's in the driver's seat when it comes to the AFC East. All they have to do is take care of their business with the games they have left, and the division is theirs. for the first time since 2019. So, but yeah, congratulations, Houston. I mean, and I'll tell you what, Davis Mills, we used to crap all over him when he was playing terrible, but since taking over for CJ Stroud, he's 3-0. I mean, he's a different guy now. So, but yeah, it's all about the defense and the way they played. So, congratulations, Houston. A big win. You keep your playoff hopes up. I mean, right now, they're on the outside looking in. But if they can go on a run, I heard some people say that this is a team you do not want to face come playoff time just because of that defense that we saw on display last night. So, yeah, congratulations, Houston. But Buffalo Bills, and especially Bills Mafia, you got a problem. Big time. And if you don't fix things up quickly, not only are you not going to win the AFC East, but there's a possibility you might not even make the damn playoffs. And Fletch already said that Sean McDermott should be fired if that happens. I agree too. And I'm going to put you on the spot, Anthony Florio, as the big-time Buffalo Bills fan that you are. I've known you for a long time as a Buffalo Bills fan. And I'm going to put you on the spot right here, right now.
I deserve it. Let's go.
Should the Buffalo Bills not make the playoffs, does Sean McDermott should he be fired?
Yes, absolutely. He's not part of the solution. He's part of the problem. Simple. And you know who else is part of the problem? Joe Brady. He's part of the problem. But you know who the biggest problem of them all is? Brandon Beane. You had an opportunity to bring some guys in, and you didn't do it. Why? You had a chance to get Jalen freaking Waddle from the Dolphins.
Anybody.
And you blew it.
Anybody. To help improve this team.
If they had gotten Waddle, we would have been better off.
So you heard it here, folks. You heard it here first, folks, from our friend and longtime Buffalo Bills fan, Anthony Florio. He said the same thing that me and Fletch said. If they don't make the playoffs, Sean McDermott, in the immoral words of Vince McMahon, you're fired.
And they better take Brandon Beane and Joe Brady with them.
Yeah. Major problems.
McDermott's gone, Brady's gone, Beane is gone. Simple.
Major problems with Buffalo Bills.
Addition by subtraction. Simple.
Which, I mean, if you would have told me that the Buffalo Bills would be in this position where they are right now, I would have said no chance in hell.
Nope.
So, yeah, there's really nothing more for me to add on. So with that being said, Florio, we're gonna get to the rest of week number 12. So,
yep.
And I'm gonna start off with the question I always do like to say.
I know
who
where
was
you're
on
going.
bye this week.
Before I do that, I want to share this quote. Be thankful for what you have. You'll end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never, ever have enough. That's me as a Bills fan right now. I'm thankful for what we have. I'm not going to focus on what we don't have. And that's it. So I'm going to try to be on the more positive, the more high road. Am I disappointed? You damn right I am. And I have every right to be. But make no mistake about it. We're going to go down swinging. And whatever happens, let the chips fall where they may, as MF says. All right? Get it? Got it? Good. Let's move on. Who's on bye this week? Well, we got 4 teams on bye this week. The Denver Broncos, MF's Miami Dolphins, the Los Angeles Chargers, and the Washington Commanders. You will not see them in action this week. First game of this week, we have 7 early games, and we'll start it off with, well, not quite the Zonk game of the week, but just missing the Zonk game of the week. We got the New York Jets squaring off against the Baltimore Ravens at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. Andrew Catalon, Charles Davis, Jason McCourty, AJ Ross for CBS. Baltimore opening up as a as the biggest favorite of the week. Baltimore is opening up as a 13.5-point favorite. And for good reason. Baltimore leads the all-time series 10-2. They met in 2022 the last time. That was in New York. Ravens won 24-9. Last meeting in Baltimore was 2019. Ravens smashed them 42-21. The Jets, oh, by the way, have never won in Baltimore against the Ravens. 0-6 all time. So here we go, guys. Started off with, okay, here we go. The Jets hope that quarterback Tyrod Taylor, who replaces the struggling Justin Fields, will allow them to open up the passing attack. The goal is to get young pass catchers Adonai Mitchell, John Mechie III, and Mason Taylor more involved. That was not happening with Fields, as the Jets were held to under 140 net passing yards in 3 of the last 4 games. Coach Aaron Glenn said we have to do something to get this team going offensively in the passing game, and I just felt like it was time to change quarterbacks. Protecting Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson has been an issue. He has been sacked an average of 3.2 times a game, which is the most of his 8-year career. Baltimore is facing a Jet defense that has recorded 8 sacks in their last 2 games. But Ravens coach John Harbaugh said of his offensive line, we're putting the best 5 players out there, and they're playing pretty darn good. Can they play better? Sure. Injuries are starting to pile up for Jackson, who has an ankle issue after dealing with knee soreness last week. The Jets' lone takeaway this season is the fewest by any team through 10 games in a season all time. Only 1. The FPI obviously loves Baltimore here. 80% going with the Baltimore Ravens. I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens. 34-17, Baltimore all over the Jets. You could pretty much consider this the lock of the week if you wanted to. 34-17, Baltimore smashes the Jets. MF, you have an 80% FPI. You got to go with the hot hand.
You go with the hot hand, and you go with the team that most likely will not only will win the game, but will dominate as well. I'm totally in an agreement with you, Anthony. I'm also going with the Ravens as well. I just don't see anything that really scares me when it comes to the New York Jets. I just think it's a dominating performance. I think they're just gonna go out there, do what they need to do, get the job done, and they're gonna win this game. And I think they're gonna win this one going away. So I'm totally in an agreement with you. And I'm also saying the Ravens win. So, Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens as well, and they should be able to handle their business with the New York Jets. So, give me the Ravens to win, and they will keep their playoff hopes alive. So, nothing more to say. Let's move on to the next 1:00 game.
And it's our number 2 game of the week. This is a big one right here. The Pittsburgh Steelers squaring off against the Chicago Bears. Soldier Field in Chicago. Iron Eagle, J.J. Watt, Evan Washburn, they will be there. Chicago opening up as a 2.5-point favorite. And the series history between these two legendary franchises, Chicago leads the all-time series 19-8 with a tie. Their last meeting was 2021 in Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh winning 29-27. Last meeting in Chicago, 2017, Chicago winning in overtime, 23-17. The Steelers have not won in Chicago since 1995. And that was a wild and crazy 37-34 overtime game. MF, number 2 game of the week, Pittsburgh and Chicago in Soldier Field. Wow, what a game here.
Yeah, no, this is going to be a good one. I'm excited for it. I think everybody is excited for this one. Look, Chicago is sneaky good. I don't think we can really say we really thought we were going to say that when this thing was going to get going, and they've been playing an incredible style of football. Pittsburgh, you never know. Defensively, they are really good, so you never know how that's going to play out. You kind of have a feel like maybe they win it, but I'm really torn here. This is one of those games where I'll openly admit I honestly don't know where this is going to go. I honestly think this can go a number of different ways. I don't know. It's one of those type of games where, I mean, it can go a number of different ways. I just feel like this is going to be a tight game, and honestly, truthfully, I'm going to go and I'm going to say Chicago in an upset. I don't know. I feel like, you know, with Aaron Rodgers being uncertain and we don't know his prognosis for the game, I just can't see anything other than what we're getting right now. So, Michael Bullock, I'm gonna take a major leap of faith here, and I'm gonna go with the Bears to stun the Steelers. So it's yours.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, look, the Aaron Rodgers injury, I mean, is something we got to keep an eye on. I mean, if he does play, I mean, perhaps they have a chance, but the thing is, Chicago's just playing really good right now, and they're leading their division. I mean, who? And the thing is, Caleb Williams. I mean, he continues to really improve. I mean, as a starter, and I mean, and the thing is, I mean, I got to go with the hot hand here. I got to go with the Chicago Bears to pull this one out and beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going to say they're going to win whether Aaron Rodgers plays or not, because that's just how good they're playing right now. So I'm riding with the Chicago Bears. It's yours, Florio.
All like we've been saying, all eyes are on Steelers quarterback Aaron Rodgers' left wrist a week after he sustained a fracture late in the second quarter against Cincinnati. Rodgers did not return in that game, but he's not ruling out playing on Sunday in a city where he has had plenty of previous success. Rodgers said, "There's incentive for every opponent, but I have enjoyed many a Sunday and Monday and Thursdays in that city," he said of playing Chicago. Rodgers said the key to his availability is less about pain management and more about safety and being able to protect himself. He stated that it's more comfortable to receive the snap in shotgun than it is under center, but his goal is to be able to take snaps under center as well. A week after the Vikings blitzed Caleb Williams on a whopping 66.7% of his dropbacks, the Bears anticipate a similarly aggressive approach from a Steeler defense that has blitzed at the fourth highest rate, 34%, in the NFL this season. Bears coach Ben Johnson said they've got some werewolves on the outside that shows up, referencing the quick pressures generated by edge rushers TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith. When you have both sides that you're concerned about, that's where you got to be pretty creative as a play designer to make sure that they don't affect the game in a negative fashion. Caleb Williams has 7 touchdowns to 0 interceptions when blitzed, but has either over or underthrown a receiver on 28% of his pass attempts when facing added pressure. The Bears have an NFL best 22 takeaways and 15 interceptions this season. Chicago has a 7-1 record, outscoring its opponents by 39 points when finishing with at least one takeaway. It's a slight FPI for Chicago, but it's only 53%. But if I'm going to be honest with you, I like what I'm seeing from Chicago right now. And with the game being in, and especially with this game being in Chicago, I got to give the edge to the Bears here. I'm going to go with Chicago to win. My final score, 24-17. Give me Chicago to defeat Pittsburgh. Next up, here you go, Bullock. It's your team, your New England Patriots, squaring off against the Cincinnati Bengals. Paycor Stadium, formerly Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. Kevin Harlan, Trent Green, and Melanie Collins on the call. And we have New England opening up as a 7-point favorite. And New England leads the all-time series 18-10. Last meeting was last year, opening week 1 last year in Cincinnati. New England defeated Cincinnati 16-10. Cincinnati last beat New England Christmas Eve 2022. That was a 22-18 win in New England. The Bengals last beat the Patriots at home in 2013. 13-6 was the final there. So, Michael Bullock, it's only fitting we started off with you here. the New England Patriots and the Cincinnati Bengals. Jamar Chase for the Bengals suspended 1 game for that disgusting incident in Pittsburgh with Jalen Ramsey last week. And now with Buffalo losing last night, like you said, man, I'm going to be honest with you. If you guys don't win the AFC East this year, I, for one, will be shocked. I will be the most surprised person in the entire world.
Yeah, because this team, to me, they're the hottest team in the NFL right now. I mean, nobody, and I repeat, nobody could have predicted this at the beginning of the season. I mean, when they lost to the Raiders in week 1, everybody was already saying, yeah, new team, same result. Everybody was thinking that this was going to be another hard times year. But look at this. I mean, 9 wins in a row. 8 wins in a row now, I should say. And currently are in control of the AFC East. And this team, whatever Mike Vrabel is preaching right now, they're buying in. And they even said they enjoy playing for him. And Vrabel enjoys coaching them. And just getting him and the right coaching staff, this is what the result you're seeing right now. I mean, Drake May, what can you say? In his second year, he is right now, some people are saying that he's one of the favorites to win the MVP. I mean, who would have thunk that? I mean, everybody has been wondering who's going to be the guy to take over for Brady when he left. They tried Cam Newton. That didn't work out. Mac Jones. It was only successful for 1 year in 2021. And then it went downward. And then Jacoby Brissett didn't work out. And then looks like they finally found their guy in Drake May. And it looks like they're going to be getting some guys back, including Kayshon Boutte and Ramondre Stevenson. And you have Ramondre Stevenson with Travion Henderson. That's a pretty dangerous duo there in New England. And the Bengals. It's been a tough season for them. And the thing is, we heard the news that Joe Burrow. He was a full participant for 2 days and then was limited today. And one Cincinnati Bengal insider who appeared on WEEI, he even said that he doesn't see Joe Burrow playing. Because, remember, Florio, they have another game in a few days on Thanksgiving night against the Baltimore Ravens. Do you really want to bring him back this soon when you got 2 games in 5 days?
Save him for Buffalo.
No. If you're going to bring him back, I would say save him for that Thanksgiving night matchup.
Oh, yes, I agree with that.
Against the Baltimore Ravens.
Keep Flacco in.
Yeah, and he even said he thinks Joe Flacco should get the start, which I totally agree with. But regardless, and especially with Jamar Chase being suspended for spitting on Jalen Ramsey, there's so many injuries, and the defense of theirs is just atrocious. So, what does that tell you? It's a recipe for a New England win. So, giving the New England Patriots to win this one, they're going to make this 9 wins in a row. You hear me? 9 wins in a row. And then they got the Giants next Monday night. They could easily make it 10 in a row. This is just an unbelievable season, and I'm going to go on the record of saying this right now, Florio, before I give it to you. I don't care what anybody says. Mike Vrabel is the coach of the year.
Amen.
No matter what.
Amen.
No disrespect to what Shane Steichen is doing in Indianapolis.
Or Sean Payton in Denver.
Or Sean Payton in Denver. But after what New England has dealt with the last 3 years, especially back-to-back 4-win seasons, to go from that to where they are right now, he has to be the coach of the year.
He has to be, and he will be. It's as simple as that. New England is 5-0 on the road this season, the NFL's only undefeated team on the road. And wide receiver Stephon Diggs said Coach Mike Vrabel has preached a pack the identity message to players. The Patriots pride themselves on an identity that begins with effort and finish, and that sometimes requires an extra edge on the road. Going into a hostile environment, bringing your guys with you, going in with a F it mindset. No matter whether it's Joe Burrow or Joe Flacco at quarterback on Sunday, the Bengals starter will have to contend with a strong Patriots secondary. Wide receiver T. Higgins has scored touchdowns in 4 straight games. With Jamar Chase suspended, Higgins will likely be matched up against New England's Christian Gonzalez, who is not allowed a touchdown as the nearest defender this season. Said Bengals offensive coordinator Dan Pitcher, they probably view Gonzalez as their best one if that's the one they're traveling on the opponent's top guy. And I think they're right to feel that way about him. The Bengals have allowed 27 plus points in 9 consecutive games, which is tied with the 1964 Denver Broncos and the 2020 Los Angeles Chargers for the longest single-season streak in NFL history. Believe it or not, it's not an overwhelming. You would think it would be an overwhelming FPI for New England, but it's not. It's only 54%. Should be a lot higher as far as I'm concerned, but doesn't matter. I got New England winning this game also. I think New England will win this one. My final score is going to be 31-20. Give me New England to continue this red-hot stretch, this magical season. And man, oh man, what can I say? By the way, I forgot to mention this game came in as our number 4 game of the week this week. So we did lose MF. MF said he'll be right back. So we will catch him up on.
Yeah, he probably had to take care of something, so that's why he left us.
Yeah. He posted in our chat, be right back. So no problem, man. Take all the time you need, and we'll catch you up on what you missed when you come back. So not much more to say. Let's move on now to our next matchup as we head on to the Fox side of the ledger. We got the New York Giants squaring off against the Detroit Lions, Ford Field in Detroit, and on the call for this game it will be Kenny Albert, Jonathan Vilma, and Megan O'Leary. Detroit opening up as a 12.5-point favorite. And Detroit leads the regular season series with the Giants 24-21 with a tie. And the Lions have won the last 3 meetings in a row against the Giants. Last meeting was 2022 in New York, 31-18 Detroit wins. Last meeting in Detroit, 2019, Detroit winning 31-26. The Giants have not won in Detroit since 2013, a 23-20 overtime win. So with that being said, I will take the I'll start this one off here. Aggressive. That is how Giants offensive coordinator Tim Kelly described the Lions defense under Kelvin Shepard. Detroit has not allowed a 300-yard passer or a 100-yard rusher this season. Consider that a challenge for veteran quarterback Jameis Winston, who has 3 300-plus yard games in his last 8 starts dating back to last year in Cleveland. Lions coach Dan Campbell was selected by the New York Giants as the 79th pick of the 1999 NFL Draft. He suited up with them from 1999 to 2002 and developed his foundation there. Campbell said, obviously, Mr. Mara, referring to Giants president and CEO John Mara, is still there, and he was there when I was there, and that Mara family will always mean something to me. I had 4 good years there, and it felt like a family. Since Dan Campbell became the head coach of the Detroit Lions in 2021, the Lions have gone for it on 4th down 32% of the time, the highest mark in the NFL. A little more of an, I'm not going to say overwhelming FPI, but definitely a much more generous FPI here for Detroit. 71% going with the Detroit Lions, and I'm going with the Detroit Lions, especially after they got embarrassed in Philly a week ago, and with them being back home, they are going to absolutely smash the New York Giants. 34-10. I got the Lions all over the New York Giants at Ford Field. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, like I said, this Lion team, oh boy, they're going to be back home and they're going to be taking out their they're going to be hopping mad and taking out their frustration from last week on the G-Men. Bullock, are you there? Huh. All right. We are awaiting MF to return, and we also have I don't know, Bullock might have stepped away for something. I'm not sure, but Lions looking up at the Chicago Bears in the NFC North, and if they want to keep pace, they got to take advantage of this matchup here. 12.5 point favorites, 71% FPI. I mean, definitely a recipe for a Lion win, especially with them being back at Ford Field after last week against Philadelphia, where they only managed to score 9 points and could have been 10 if Jameson Williams didn't have that stupid penalty there, that over the top celebration that got flagged. So I think Detroit takes care of the Giants here. I think they should do it rather convincingly, and I say they win this one 34-10. So in one of the locks of the week, for sure. We are awaiting. MF will be back in just a little bit. I don't know. I don't know if Bullock might have stepped away. He might have. So, Bullock?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, Bullock's back in. Okay, good.
Yep.
Giants and Lions is our next. The New York Giants and the Detroit Lions is our next game. I got the Lions smashing the Giants 34-10.
Oh, yeah.
You know they're going to be hopping mad after what happened in Philly last week.
Oh, you better believe it. And they're going to take their frustration out on the New York Giants. And I'm going to go with the Lions to win this one and win it rather handily.
Most definitely. And we move on now to our next matchup. Another one of the good games when it comes to the early window here. This one is also on Fox. Big NFC North matchup here, as they will feature the Minnesota Vikings squaring off against the Green Bay Packers. Lambeau Field. Who knows? Maybe we could. I think we could possibly start calling it the Frozen Tundra now.
I think we could. I think we have to start calling it the Frozen Tundra of Lambeau Field.
Frozen Tundra of Lambeau Field. That's the great Chris Berman put it. This game on Fox, we got Joe Davis, Greg Olson, and Pam Oliver. Green Bay opening up as a 6.5 point favorite. First meeting between these two division rivals, and in the series history, when it comes to these two, Green Bay leads the all-time regular season series 65-59 with 3 ties. Minnesota winning both meetings last year, including a 31-29 win in Green Bay. And as a matter of fact, Minnesota's won each of the last 2 years in Green Bay. Green Bay has not beaten Minnesota at home since 2022, and that was a 41-17 beatdown here. So, Michael Bullock, started with you here. Minnesota and Green Bay. Minnesota had Chicago literally on the ropes, but Chicago somehow managed to come back and win that game. Whereas for the Green Bay Packers, well, they had a tough battle with the Giants there, but they found a way to win as well. So Minnesota and Green Bay, big game in the NFC North, loaded NFC North.
Oh yeah, this is definitely a big game in the NFC North. But yeah, right now Minnesota, they're struggling, especially with JJ McCarthy really struggling. And Green Bay, obviously, I think they're the better team in this situation, so especially with it being at Lambeau Field. So I am going to go with the Green Bay Packers to win this one. So it is yours, Florio.
Minnesota has won 38 games since hiring coach Kevin O'Connell prior to the 2022 season. Of those victories, 33 have come when the Vikings were ahead or even in the turnover battle. This season, turnovers have been a key metric in their disappointing start. They have committed the second most turnovers, 18, and are tied for the sixth fewest in takeaways at 9, 5 of which came in one game. Defensive coordinator Brian Flores said this week that he believes in the team's process for forcing turnovers, but the Vikings will have to earn them against the Packers, whose 7 turnovers this season are tied for the 4th fewest. The Packers had realistic shots at 4 or 5 interceptions against Jameis Winston and the Giants last week and came up with only 1 by safety Evan Williams. The others slipped through their hands or were tipped. Green Bay has intercepted only 4 passes through the first 10 games after picking off 17 passes last season. Safety Xavier McKinney said, "The picks are going to come." Xavier McKinney, who has 2, "Just believe me when I tell you the picks will come." Vikings quarterback J.J. McCarthy has thrown 8 interceptions in just 5 games this season. Only 5 quarterbacks have thrown more picks this season. The Packers offense has an NFL best 49% third down conversion rate this season. And believe it or not, Green Bay is being given an overwhelming FPI here, 71%. Also 71% going with the Green Bay Packers. And I'm going with the Green Bay Packers to win as well. But I think it's going to be a closer game than you think. I'm going to say Green Bay wins this one. I'm going to go 27-20. Give me Green Bay to defeat Minnesota. All right. I believe this is where we talk about the game of the week on our side of the ledger. This is our game. This is the big one right here for our side. On CBS, the Indianapolis Colts squaring off against the Kansas City Chiefs, Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. Hello, friends. Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson, they will be there. Kansas City opening up as a 3.5-point favorite, but it's Indianapolis who leads the regular season series 14-9. And the Colts have also won the last 2 meetings in a row. Last meeting was 2022 in Indianapolis, and the Colts won that 20-17. Last meeting in Arrowhead was 2019, and Indy also won that game 19-13. Chiefs last beat the Colts in a playoff game in January of 19. 31-13 was the final there. That was a divisional playoff game. The Chiefs haven't beaten the Colts at home in a regular season game since 2004, winning a wild 45-35 game. So, excuse me. Let's get into our game of the week here. Just bear with me for a moment. All right. The Colts could have their full revamped secondary intact for the first time this season, with cornerback Charvarius Ward nearing his return from injured reserve with a concussion. That could give the Colts a lineup of Ward, Sauce Gardner, and Kenny Moore II at slot, at cornerback, with Cam Bynum and Nick Cross at safety. It gives the Colts unlimited flexibility in terms of matchups and coverages and comes just in time to face Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes on the road. The Chiefs are expressing plenty of urgency for their final 7 games of the regular season, and hope a win can propel them to make a run to clinch a playoff spot. Patrick Mahomes essentially said the Chiefs season comes down to the next 7 weeks. Obviously, we're 5-5 and not where we want to be at, but we get to write the rest of this season's story. It starts this week against the Colts at Arrowhead. I'm excited for us to go out there and do it. Colts quarterback Daniel Jones has 4 interceptions in his last 2 games after throwing only 3 in his first 8 games this season. The FPI still goes with Kansas City, though, and it's a pretty decent FPI here. 62% going with Kansas City. And I'm inclined to go with Kansas City because of the fact that they're at home. And I would not be surprised if Kansas City were to win this, but I don't know. I mean, I got to be honest. I'm going back and forth with this game. I really am. I mean, my gut tells me to go with Kansas City, but my heart is telling me to go with Indianapolis. I mean, the story writes itself in this game. We're going to find out if A, the Colts are for real, and B, this is a must-win game for Kansas City. Because if they lose this, their path to the playoffs gets a lot harder. So something most definitely has to give here. It's tough for me. I mean, but if I'm going to be honest with you, especially with this game being at Arrowhead, I got to go with the Chiefs. I think Kansas City wins this one. But would I be surprised if Indy were to win this? No, absolutely not. But I got to go with Kansas City here, especially in Arrowhead. I'm going to go 27-24, Kansas City over Indianapolis in Arrowhead in our game of the week. But boy, oh boy, if the Colts win this one, whoa. Not much more to say. Michael Bullock, it's our game of the week. The Indianapolis Colts and the Kansas City Chiefs. A Colts win, they prove that they're for real. A Chiefs loss, well, if the Chiefs win, obviously they'll still be in the thick of the playoff race. But Bullock, what if Kansas City loses again?
Yeah, that's the thing. Kansas City loses. It's gonna be a very, very tough road for them to get to the playoffs, and they would be below 500. And I mean, how many people had the New England Patriots having a better record than a team that's been to the Super Bowl 3 straight years in the Kansas City Chiefs? I mean, if you would have told me that, if told me that you had that on your bingo card, I would have said you're crazy to have it on your bingo card.
Not me, boy.
Absolutely. But, and like you said, this game is going to prove whether this Colts team is for real. Because when you look at the quarterback matchup, Florio, everybody's going to say, oh, advantage Patrick Mahomes because with Daniel Jones, I mean, it's like you don't know what you're going to get out of him. I think the key here for me is for that Chiefs defense to keep running back Jonathan Taylor at bay and force Daniel Jones to beat him. That's going to be the key here. Now, if this game was at Lucas Oil Stadium, I probably would go with the Colts. But this game is in Kansas City. The Chiefs really need this more. So, yeah, I've been going back and forth with it too, but because of all those things I mentioned, I have to go with the Kansas City Chiefs to win this one. I think it's going to be a close one, but because of that home field advantage, I got to go with the Chiefs here. But if the Colts do win, then they have proven that they are for real. So we'll see what happens. So let's move on.
One early game left, and you could pretty much call this the Zonk game of the week on the Fox side of things. The Seattle Seahawks squaring off against the Tennessee Titans. Nissan Stadium in Nashville. And on the call for that one, it will be Kevin Kugler, Daryl Moose Johnston, and Allison Williams. Seattle opening up as a 13-point favorite. Seattle leads the regular season series 11-7. Last meeting was 2 years ago, also in Nashville, and Seattle won it 20-17. Last meeting in Seattle, believe it or not, Tennessee won that game 33-30 in overtime. Titans last beat the Seahawks at home in 2017, a 33-27 win. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, come on in. Let's get your you start off on this final early game, Seattle and Tennessee. Unlike that last game, this should be a very easy call here.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a very easy call. I'm going to go with the Seahawks to win this one, and let's not forget, Florio, they're probably steaming mad after the LA Rams won last week in Seattle. So
that was in Los Angeles.
In Los Angeles. But either way you look at it, Seattle's probably steaming mad after that loss. And they're going to take their frustration out on Tennessee. And as you would say, this is the perfect get-right game for them.
Yes.
So, Seattle wins handily. It's yours, Florio.
The Seahawks had a chance to beat the Rams last week, despite quarterback Sam Darnold's 4 interceptions, because their defense kept giving them chances. That unit goes from one end of the opposing quarterback spectrum to the other this week. Whereas Matthew Stafford is a 17th-year veteran and playing at an MVP level. Titans rookie Cam Ward ranks last among 33 qualified quarterbacks in total QBR, 28.1. But Seattle is not overlooking his ability. Seahawks coach Mike Macdonald said incredible arm talent. He makes a ton of throws and from funky platforms. So you've got to play the whole play. So you've got to play the whole play through. And if you start making things up and not handling your assignments to the echo of the whistle, he can definitely make you pay. The Titans have the NFL's worst rushing attack, averaging 78.9 yards a game. Interim coach Mike McCoy said he would like to get back to some of the success the team had before struggling with only 58 rushing yards in last week's 16-13 loss to Houston. Ward pointed to the run game, also helping set up the passing game with play action. The Seahawks' 6th-ranked run defense poses a significant challenge this week. Seahawks wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba has a league-leading 7 games this season with 100 receiving yards, most in a season in Seahawks history. Overwhelming FPI for Seattle, 76% going with Seattle. I'm going with Seattle as well. 37-14, Seattle all over Tennessee. Get to the late games now. I believe we have 4 of them. 2 on CBS, 2 on Fox, 2 at 4:05, 2 at 4:25. And we'll start with our 4:05 games, and we'll start it off with our next matchup. It's a matchup featuring the Jacksonville Jaguars squaring off against the Arizona Cardinals from State Farm Stadium, formerly the University of Phoenix Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. And I believe it is Spiro Ditas' crew working this game. Yes, it is. Spiro Ditas, Adam Archuleta, and Aditi Kinkabuela. They will be in Arizona for this one. And the series history with these two, it favors Arizona. Arizona leads the all-time series 4-2. Jacksonville won the first 2 meetings, but Arizona's won the last 4. Last meeting was 2021 in Jacksonville. Arizona won 31-19. Last meeting in Arizona, 2017. Arizona winning that one, 27-24. Jacksonville only 1 win in Arizona, and that was back in 2005 at the old Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe. Jacksonville winning that one, 24-17. So let's get started with the late games now. Cardinals tight end Trey McBride is not a good matchup for the Jaguars, who rank 6th in receiving yards allowed, 694, and 7th in receptions, 64, by tight ends. McBride leads the position in catches, 71, and yards, 718. Jaguars coach Liam Cohen said you've got to have eyes on him and understand where he is in the formation at all times. Building a plan around stopping guys like that is mixing up looks and present them and make sure that maybe you have some areas in the red area, whatever it is, to double him or take away their best player. A topic all week has been the Cardinals' 17 penalties against San Francisco and how they can prevent that kind of performance from happening again, especially the pre-snap penalties, which Coach Jonathan Gannon calls non-negotiables. It comes down to better decision-making. It's also very challenging to keep players confident, and it's deflating after going backward before the snap. Quarterback Jacoby Brissett said, I think it was an anomaly in this process, but it definitely goes back to process. The Jaguars have 13 drops by wide receivers this season, 5 more than any other team. Their 21 drops overall lead the NFL. But a slight FPI in favor of Jacksonville, 54% going with Jacksonville. And I am actually going to go with Jacksonville to win this game. Give me Jacksonville here. I'm going to go 23-16. Jacksonville defeats Arizona. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, your thoughts? Jacksonville and Arizona kicking off our late game window.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Jacksonville Jaguars to win this one as well. I mean, I like the way they've been playing, and so there's really nothing more to say. So give me Jacksonville. So let's move on.
Jacksonville, Arizona ranked as our number 5 game of the week. And coming up next, the other half of that 405 window, it's our Zonk game of the week. The Cleveland Browns squaring off against the Las Vegas Raiders, Allegiant Stadium. Oh, by the way, I also forgot to mention Jacksonville opening up as a 3-point favorite against Arizona. Cleveland Browns, Las Vegas Raiders, our Zonk game of the week from Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. And on the call for CBS, it will be Tom McCarthy, Ross Tucker, and Tiffany Blackman. And Las Vegas opening up as a 4-point favorite. And the series history favors the Raiders 16-10, regular season wise. Last meeting was last year in Las Vegas. Raiders winning it 20-16. Raiders have won the last 5 meetings in a row against Cleveland. Cleveland hasn't beaten the Raiders since 2014. That was in Cleveland, 23-13. Cleveland's last win at the Raiders was 2012, 20-17. Bullock, I'm sorry to do it to you, but you got to lead off on the Zonk game of the week, the Cleveland Browns and the Las Vegas Raiders. Ugh.
Yeah, not looking forward to this one. I'm just going to make it short and sweet here. I'm going to go with the Vegas Raiders to win this one, so it's yours.
Yeah. Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders will make his first start for the Browns, and after an uneven NFL debut in the second half against Baltimore, he's getting all the practice reps as he prepares to face Las Vegas. With a week of practice as the starter and a game plan tailored to him, the hope is that Sanders is more comfortable as he tries to become the first Browns rookie to win his first start since Eric Zaire in 1995, breaking a string of 17 consecutive losses. Sanders said, I think it's going to be exciting. I know you can't miss it. You cannot miss this moment. We going out there with a purpose, going out there mentally ready. No distractions, no anything, and I'll be excited. The Raiders' offensive line, which featured backups Stone Forsythe and Will Putnam, failed to hold up on Monday night. Las Vegas gave up 16 pressures, 4 sacks, and averaged 2.3 yards a carry. The unit faces another big test. Browns edge rusher Myles Garrett. Quarterback Geno Smith said he's got speed, he's got power, and he's very disruptive. You can see it. He's had a really hot past 3 weeks, and we got to cool him down. Geno Smith has 12 touchdowns and 13 interceptions this season, making him one of 2 qualified quarterbacks with more interceptions than passing touchdowns. The other is the Minnesota Vikings' J.J. McCarthy. FPI favors Las Vegas, 65% going with Las Vegas. I'm going with Las Vegas as well. Ugly game. I'm going to say 17-10. Las Vegas defeats Cleveland. We have 2 425 games on Fox. First up, America's game of the week. Out of the NFC East, it's the Philadelphia Eagles squaring off against the Dallas Cowboys. AT&T Stadium in Arlington. America's game of the week. You know who's working that. Kevin Burkhardt, Tom Brady, Aaron Andrews, and Tom Rinaldi. They will be in Jerry World for the Eagles and the Cowboys. I believe this is the we actually remember. This is actually their second meeting. They met in the very first game of the season. The very first game of this NFL season. That opening Thursday night in Philadelphia. Philadelphia winning that game. So when it comes to this series history, Philly cuts into Dallas's regular season series lead. It's now 71-58 for Dallas. Philly's has won 3 in a row against Dallas. Last year in Dallas, Philly smashed Dallas 34-6. Cowboys' last home win over Philly was 2023, where they beat them 33-13. So let's get into Philly and Dallas here. Part of the reason the Eagles' defense has taken off recently is the improvement against the run, and that has a lot to do with the return of linebacker Nakobe Dean from a torn patellar tendon. Excuse me. Philadelphia was allowing 4.7 yards a rush and 127 yards a game in weeks 1 to 5, compared with 3.9 yards a rush and 101 yards a game since Dean was reinserted into the defensive lineup in week 6. Eagles defensive coordinator Vic Fangio said, "I think as a unit, we're just playing it better. Obviously, Nakobe helps. Last 2 weeks, Jalen Phillips helps. I think Jalen Carter has really kicked up his game here lately. So it's a combination of a bunch of things." Was the Cowboys' defensive success on Monday just because they were playing against the Raiders? Or is there something different about a defense that now has Quinnen Williams, Logan Wilson, DeMarvion Overshown, and starting safeties Malik Hooker and Donovan Wilson on the field and healthy? The Eagles' offense represents a much more difficult test with Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, and Saquon Barkley, though the Cowboys did allow just 302 yards and 24 points when these teams met in week 1 in the very first game of the season. Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott has won 18 straight home division games that he has started, tied with Brett Favre from 94 to 98 for the second longest streak by a starting quarterback since the 1970 merger, after Tom Brady's 20-game streak from 2007 to 2014. The FPI goes to Philadelphia, 57% going with the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going with the Philadelphia Eagles to win this game as well. 28-20, give me Philadelphia over Dallas in America's Game of the Week. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, Philadelphia, Dallas, round 2. After their opening game, the very first game of this season, they meet again here in Jerry World. Philly coming off that big win over Detroit, where Dallas had that easy win over Vegas.
Yeah, obviously, like you said, Dallas coming off of that win over Vegas, Philly coming off of that huge win over Detroit. Something's got to give here, but I have to go with the Philadelphia Eagles. They're the better team in this one, so I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles as well, so nothing more to say. Let's move on to the other 425 matchup.
The other 425 matchup, and it will feature the Atlanta and an NFC South divisional matchup with the Atlanta Falcons squaring off against the New Orleans Saints from the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans. It's Adam Amin, and guess who's coming home to New Orleans?
Drew Brees.
He's coming home. Oh, what a homecoming!
That scene's going to be awesome.
Adam Amin, Drew Brees, Christina Pink will be in the Superdome for the Falcons and the Saints. And believe it or not, New Orleans is actually opening up as a 2-point favorite. A little surprising there, but all right. First meeting between these two and the series history, it favors New Orleans, but it's only 56-55 in the regular season. Both teams split last year, both teams winning at home, so New Orleans won in the Superdome. Matter of fact, the Saints have won the last 3 years at home. Atlanta has not won in New Orleans since 2021. That was a 27-25 final. So Michael Bullock, Atlanta and New Orleans lost in the game, of course. The return to New Orleans for their all-time favorite son, Drew Brees.
Yeah, that's gonna be something. I mean, for Drew Brees to come back to a place where he led New Orleans to their only Super Bowl championship in 2009. So, yeah, so I'm sure it's gonna be an emotional moment for him. I mean, that crowd that's gonna be there is gonna give him a standing ovation, as he definitely deserves it. So,
Most definitely.
and you, yeah. So, like you said, I mean, Saints are the favorites, but the thing is, of course, now we know, and the big story here, Michael Penix is done for the season. So,
Wow.
I mean, I heard it's a torn ACL. So,
next man up, that's you, Kirk Cousins.
yeah, it's going to be up to Kirk Cousins. So I think it's going to be a close one, but I got to go with the Falcons to win this. So it's yours, Florio.
Especially when you have a guy on the when you have a beast running back in Bijan Robinson. So that'll definitely tilt the scales. Atlanta will be going into the game against its biggest rival without starting quarterback Michael Penix Jr. with a torn ACL and top wide receiver Drake London with a PCL injury. Without London, offensive coordinator Zach Robinson said he expects a high volume of targets for Darnell Mooney, and it's a matter of time before Mooney breaks out after early season injuries. The Saints parted ways with another receiver after Brandon Cooks asked for his release. That means another change-up for rookie quarterback Tyler Show, who is coming off his first win as a starter. Without Cooks and Rashid Shaheed, who was traded to Seattle, Devon Valley and Mason Tipton will be next in line to get more snaps, but Show has been building chemistry with tight end Jawan Johnson and wide receiver Chris Olave, both of whom had big games against Carolina before the bye. Falcons running back Bijan Robinson has 6 career games with multiple rushing touchdowns. Another would break the tie with Devontae Freeman and William Andrews for third most in franchise history. 55% going with the Atlanta Falcons, according to the FPI, and I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons as well. I'm going to go 20-17. I think Atlanta pulls this one out in the Superdome. All right, I believe we have our 2 primetime games left. We move on now to Sunday Night Football on NBC. You can make an argument record-wise that this is the NFC game of the week. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers squaring off against the Los Angeles Rams from SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. Sunday Night Football on NBC, 8:20 on Sunday night. You know who's working that as always. Mike Tirico, and calling his 500th game, Chris Collinsworth. And of course, Melissa Stark on the sidelines. And the spread, it favors the Rams. Los Angeles opening up as a 6.5-point favorite. And the series history between these two, the Rams lead the regular season series 16-10. But in their last meeting in 2022 in Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers won that game 16-13. Last meeting in Los Angeles was 2021. The Rams actually winning that game 34-24. Buccaneers' last win in Los Angeles was 2019 in a wild and crazy 55-40 game in 2019. So here we go. Tampa Bay will have to figure out a way to navigate the Rams' stingy defense. The Bucs allow the second fewest points, 17.2, and are tied for the second most takeaways at 18. Quarterback Baker Mayfield said they have invested a lot of capital into the front 7 in the last few drafts. Jared Verse and Byron Young on the edges. The interior guys are also playing well. They're winning a lot of one-on-ones, making plays, and the back-end guys are playing aggressively because of it. Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford has 20 passing touchdowns against the blitz this season, which leads the NFL. According to ESPN research, he is tied with Tom Brady from back in 2012 for the third most by any quarterback in a season since ESPN began tracking blitzes. On Sunday, he will be facing a Bucs team that has blitzed at the highest rate of any team, 37%, since coach Todd Bowles joined the team in 2019. Tampa Bay is blitzing 33% of the time this season. Rams wide receiver Davante Adams has 4 consecutive games with a touchdown reception, which is one shy of tying the second longest streak by a Rams player since the 1970 merger. 1973, Harold Jackson, 2003 and 2006, Torrey Holt, and Cooper Kupp in 2019, trailing only Henry Ellard, 6 straight, from 1988 to 1989. FPI gives it to the Rams, 64%, going with the Los Angeles Rams. I'm going with the Los Angeles Rams to win this game as well. Close game, high-scoring game. I'm going to say LA wins this one, 31-25. Give me the Rams to hold off the Buccaneers. So, not much more to say. Michael Bullock, you can make an argument. This is the NFC game of the week. Tampa Bay and the Rams, Sunday Night Football at SoFi.
Yeah, I definitely think this is the NFC game of the week on our side. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with the Los Angeles Rams. It's gonna be a close one, like you said, but I think they will pull this one out. So, give me the Rams. And oh, by the way, one more thing, Florio. Unfortunately, good old MF Michael Fletcher will not be rejoining us tonight. I did text him, and he said he's just calling it a night.
Okay.
So
yeah, no worries on that.
Yeah.
Not sure if he was tired or if there was a problem on his end. I don't know, but no worries, MF. We got you. You know that. So
yeah. So let's get to the final game of the night.
Hopefully, we'll have him back with us next time. All right.
Which is tomorrow.
All right. Moving on to Sunday Night Football, or Monday Night Football, rather. ESPN, 8:15 on ESPN. Sleeper matchup here. You could call this maybe the number 2 game of the week on the NFC side. A renewal of an old NFC West Division rivalry. The Carolina Panthers squaring off against the San Francisco 49ers from the home of Super Bowl 60, Levi's Stadium in San Francisco, Santa Clara. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, Lisa Salters, Laura Rutledge, they will have it. And San Francisco opening up as a 7-point favorite. Carolina, however, leads the regular season series 13-9. San Francisco, however, has won the last 2 meetings. Last meeting was 2022 in Charlotte. San Francisco smashed Carolina 37-15. Last meeting in San Fran, 2019, San Francisco smashed Carolina 51-13. Carolina has not won in San Francisco since 2017. 23-3 beatdown there. So, Bullock, this goes to you. Our final game of the night, Carolina and San Francisco, to wrap it all up on Monday night.
Yeah, I think this should be. I think San Fran to me should not have a problem here. So I'm going to go with the 49ers to win this one. So Florio, you got the final say of the night.
You could call this the Christian McCaffrey game. It's the first time the Panthers have faced McCaffrey since trading him midway through the 2022 season. Current Carolina running back Chuba Hubbard calls McCaffrey, who leads the NFL in scrimmage yards, the best back he has seen. To remain relevant in the NFC and keep pace with the Bucs in the South, the league's 17th ranked run defense is going to have to find a way to stop their number 8 pick in 2017, which by coincidence is the last year the Panthers won a Monday Night Football game. This game has all the makings of a shootout, considering both teams have consistently struggled to generate pass rush this season. The Panthers are 25th in pass rush win rate at 33.3% and 31st in pressure rate at 25%, while the Niners are 31st in pass rush win rate, 30.8%, and 32nd in pressure rate, 21.5%. It's unlikely either side will suddenly fix this issue, but the side that protects better and takes care of the ball will undoubtedly have a leg up in a game with serious NFC playoff implications. The 49ers are using motion at the snap 41% of the time this season, which is the 4th highest rate in the NFL, Meanwhile, the Panthers are allowing the 5th most yards of play at 6.2 and 2nd most yards a game, 141, when opponents use motion at the snap this season. The FPI is going with San Francisco. 73% going with San Francisco. I'm going with San Francisco. I'm going to go 38-27. San Francisco defeats Carolina on Monday night. And with that, that will put the bow on this Week 12 edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in as always. We'll be back with you again tomorrow night, hopefully over on MF's channel, Brace Fan 95, for another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk. We got TNA Impact and Friday Night SmackDown on the docket. And then Tuesday night, we do it all over again, Ridiculously Raw. Monday Night Raw, Go Home Show for Survivor Series. And Week 2 of NXT Gold Rush from the theater in Madison Square Garden. And that's it. And then Wednesday night, it will be our annual TXN Sports World Football Feast. The Football Feast is back. The 3 NFL games on Thanksgiving, which, of course, as we all know, it will be the Green Bay Packers squaring off against the Detroit Lions, the Kansas City Chiefs squaring off against the Dallas Cowboys, the Cincinnati Bengals squaring off against the Baltimore Ravens. And then, of course, we'll also preview the Black Friday game with the Chicago Bears and the Philadelphia Eagles. Good one there. Preview those games, and of course, the entire top 25 docket for the final week of the regular season, rivalry week, headlined, of course, by the game of the week in our eyes, Ohio State and Michigan, along with some other very appetizing matchups as well to cap off your Thanksgiving, to get ready for your Thanksgiving there. No show Thursday, obviously, because of Thanksgiving, obviously. And then 1 week from tonight, we'll be back. We'll run down the Thanksgiving games and the Black Friday game and notable games on the docket next week. The Los Angeles Rams against the Carolina Panthers, the Houston Texans and the Indianapolis Colts in a huge AFC South divisional matchup. We also have the Minnesota Vikings against the Seattle Seahawks, Sam Darnold against his former team. And, of course, the big one in Pittsburgh, the Buffalo Bills and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Just some of the notable games we'll have on tap for you next week. No bye weeks because of the Thanksgiving week. And that's it. So until maybe tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk, I don't know what's going on. We'll see what happens with that. Until next time we see you, which could be tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk, this is Anthony Florio here for Michael Bullock and in spirit, good old MF Michael Fletcher. And of course, always and forever, our First Lady, Dee Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up, Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Saturday. And until maybe tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk, you have been watching the Week 12 edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and Streamy.com. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody, bye.